12.1 homework. The largest increase in sales occurred in this year. So we look at all these graphs, and we're going to have to take the differences of all of those graphs. So what we could do is we could say between the first two, 1,993 to 1,994. So we would take the larger one, the later one, and we would subtract the previous one. And we would say that gives us 266. Then we would take the next two. All right, so we take 1995 minus 1994. So 3,409 minus 2,474. And then that would give us 935. And we do the next one, which is 3,699 minus 3,409. And that would give us 290. Now they say they want the largest increase. So it looks like the largest increase is right there. And that was between these two, right? It was between 1994 to 1995. So the largest increase in sales occurred in the year, we would probably say 1995. So I'll put a 1995 there. Then we say the total sales for 1993 were, it's right there, that's the number right there, right? So we would say that's 2,208. But by the way, you could just visually do this. Basically, the height of the one in 1995 compared to the height of 1994. See that big height difference there? So the difference between this height and the previous height is greater than, obviously, the difference between 1993 to 1994 or 1995 to 1996. So just visually we can look at this. This is just algebra. This right here, the arithmetic here is just confirming what we can visually already see there. Just wanted to point that out. Okay, so the sales in 1994 were blank dollars more than 1993. Okay, well, we already did the calculation, so this right there is the difference. So from 1993 to 1994, the sales increased 266. So 266. There were about blank percent of increase in sales from 1993 to 1996. So the way you would do that is you would take 3,699 and you would subtract 2,208. So you take the new and you subtract the old, right? The old. And then you put that over the original, or the old one, so 2,208, which is, again, is the old one. Okay? And that'll give you 1,491, and that's over 2,208. And when you divide, you get 0.675272. And to turn the decimal into a percent, we have to multiply that by 100. We're going to keep a percent on that, right? And that will give me 67.5272%. Okay. The double bar graph displayed to the right shows the median annual earnings of both recent college graduates and those with graduate degrees in 6 different occupational areas. Study the graph to complete parts A through E below. Okay, and they give you a little, the GE let GE be general engineering, NER be nursing, FIN be finance, AC be accounting, ARC be architecture, and MAR be marketing. Okay, so let's do this. So how much more did the average engineer make compared to the average accountant if they were both recent college graduates? So what we do here is we have to look up the average accounting, and we have to look up the the average engineering. So we have engineering right here, and we have accounting over here. Now, they specifically to recent college graduates. Now, recent college graduates are recent college graduates left bar, so it's the red, okay? And graduate degree holders right bars would be the blue. So, okay, so whenever they say recent college graduate, we're going to look at the red ones, the one on the left. Okay. So they say how much more did the average engineer make? So let's look at this. So we have 20, 40, 60, and some change. I'm going to assume that's right in the middle. And each one of these are 5, right? For instance, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So obviously it's counting by 5, right? Another way of looking at that is the difference between any of these numbers here is always 20. So what you would do is 20. And the number we chopped it up into is 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 different increments there, right? So we chop it up into 4, which means each one of the units is 5. It's counting by 5s, right? And what that means is we're going from 20, 40, 60, and then we have to add in a little bit of a half there, right? Well, half of 5 is 2.5. So we're going to go to 60, right? 60 plus 2.5 gives me 62.5. So the engineers made 62.5. Now, we want the average accountant. Okay, so let's go and look at that one. So straight across, it looks like there's 40 right there. That's the last one that's labeled, 40, but it's half again as much. So just like the other one is 40 plus 2.5, so we're going to get 42.5. And the difference between 62.5 and 42.5 is 20. Now, how much more did the average engineer make? Now, it's not really 20 because this is really in thousands. So no, it's sideways, but it is in thousands. So this is really the difference is $20,000 per year. So depending upon how they want you to enter the answer, you probably want to put the 20,000 instead. Now, in marketing, how much more did the average graduate degree holder make compared to the average recent college graduate? Okay, so we're looking at marketing first of all. Then they say average graduate, and then they want average recent college graduate, right? So we go to marketing. There's marketing right here. And we're going to look at this one, and then we're going to compare it to this one. Okay, so how much is the blue one, the one on the right, right? That's the graduate. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here, look across on this little line, all the way across. It looks like it's 80 and some change. So, sorry, let's do that again. It's kind of hard to follow these. I realize that. Just do your best. So it's 80 plus 1 or 85. Okay, so it looks like it's 85. And they want to compare that to, they just recently graduated. So we look at that. Looks like the last one is going to be over here, a little less than 40. So it's between 35 and 40. So right in between there. Right, so that's 35 right there, right? And then it's in between there. So this is actually going to be a 35 plus 2.5, which will give you 37.5. Now, they want to say how much more is made in this situation. And it looks like it would be a 47.5. Now, again, this is actually multiplied by 1,000. So this is really 47,500. So again, depending upon how they want the answer, you might want to put the 40, that's a dollar sign, 47,500. Okay, so let's look at the next one. So for architects, by what percent did the median earnings increase for those who held a graduate degree compared to those who are recent college graduates? Okay, so we got to go to architects now. Dealing with this one now right there, architects. So architects, they said the median increase percent, right, from a graduate degree compared to the recent college grads. Okay, so first we're going to do what we did previous to this. So we had one which, again, it's going to be new minus old over old, and that's how you're going to figure it out, right? So what's the new one? Well, they want us to compare it to the college graduates. They want a graduate degree. So let's look at the graduate degree right here, right? We go all the way across here, and it looks like it's a little bit under 80, right? So that's going to be a 75. So we're going to start off with 75. And then we're going to subtract the previous one for architects, which it looks like it is a 40. And we're going to put it over 40, the original. Okay, so 75 minus 40, what is that? Well, that's a 35. And what do you put it over? You put it over 40. And when you divide, you get 0.875. Then you have to multiply that by 100 to turn it into a percent. And you get 87.5%. So it's an 87.5% increase. So that's considerable. For nurses, by what percent did the median earnings increase for those who held a graduate degree compared to those who were recent college graduates? Okay, so again, for nurses. So now we're over here. I don't know, put a little triangle, whatever. The nurses. We're dealing with nursing now. So we want to find out by what percent did the median earnings increase. So between recent college graduate to after recent college graduate. So we know we're going to use the same kind of structure, right? It's going to be it's going to be new minus old over old, and it's going to equal something. So let's figure these out. So first we need to figure out the graduate, the nursing graduate. So let's go up here, look at the nursing graduates, right there, all the way across. So it looks like 85. So we have an 85. And then the old, so that's the ones that we're comparing two things. So we're looking at nursing. We go right across. It looks like right in between 40 and 60, which is 50. So we're going to have 50. And then we're going to put it over the old, which is 50. Okay, so 85 minus 50. So that is going to be 35. And we put it over 50, which gives us a 0.7. When we multiply that by 100, that gives us 70%. And we look at the last one. For which of the occupations shown did the median earnings increase the most for holders of a graduate degree? Okay. So we go over here and we look for the biggest difference. And it turns out that this one, in this case, is actually the one we didn't actually do. That's the finance one right here, right? So we're looking at the difference between here and here. And if we count the difference between there and there, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 times 5, that's a $60,000 difference. Now, they didn't ask for the largest percentage increase. They actually asked for the largest increase, period. So that's it for that one. Now, even as a percentage, it would have been the biggest one, but that's not what they asked. So, for which occupation shown did the median earnings increase the most for holders of a graduate degree? And again, we looked at the difference between on finance, and it looks like finance is the answer. So we would put finance in here.